Yo, what's going on, guys? MBG here. Yeah, that's a classic intro right there. That's what I used to say on my channel, but yeah, we are live, and today we are going to be witnessing some new Ghost of Tsushima gameplay, and I am pretty excited for this. So I want to thank everybody who is here right now. Obviously, we're starting a half hour early because I just wanted to take some time to hang out with you guys and chat a little bit. I don't know how long the state of play is going to be, but it seems like we're going to get a pretty good look at Ghost of Tsushima, and it's been a really long time since we've gotten that. So I'm excited. If you guys are as excited as I am, make sure you hit that like button. Really helps the stream out. You guys absolutely crushed it yesterday during that stream. I don't think there's going to be anything that'll top that, but hey, hit the like button, help it out. And so we are going to test out the audio levels. I like to do this usually before, just to see what you guys think. You can let me know. So I'm going to play an older Ghost of Tsushima trailer, and you can let me know how the audio levels are. So let's do this. I think this is the last story trailer. Man, this game's gonna be awesome. I mean, this game already looks next gen. But how's the mix? Is my voice overpowering? Can you guys hear the trailer okay? You're saying no audio? That may be on my end. Oh.
And defend our
How about now? That should have fixed it. So hopefully you're hearing it now. This is why we do this ahead of time. Hopefully it's not like insanely loud for you guys.
We do what we must, Lord Sakai. That is why you and I are both survivors.
I am samurai.
No, you are more than that. You are the ghost.
So how's the mix? Is my voice overpowering?
To join me, and I will give them peace.
We will never serve you.
Okay. You guys are giving me the green light here. Too loud.
I've never seen a samurai fight like that. It was nothing.
You're more than a samurai. He is a vengeful spirit.
It's a bit loud. I'm hearing this.
Back from the grave.
I can
to slaughter the
adjust that
Mongols.
just a little bit because it does say here it's going into the yellow for both, so I can move both down just
this
a little bit.
path,
So I can put that in
you
the
will be no
green.
better than the Mongols.
Put this down in the green
Trained
too.
you to fight with honor.
Honor died on the beach. The Khan deserves to suffer.
The game is a little much. Yeah, it's loud in my ear too, so maybe I could put that down just a little bit. Put mine. Alright, how's my voice for the video now? I mean, it shows on my end it's going a little bit into the
I
red,
am
but
samurai. But I will sacrifice everything.
drop mine
for
a
my
hair.
home.
See, it's a little bit delayed, so that's the only thing. I just want to make sure it's good before we actually watch it, because I don't want to ruin it, you know? That's why I like to go live a little bit earlier. But yeah, what an awesome trailer. Everybody's saying full screen. Stop talking. Okay, guys, chill. Anybody who may be showing up right now, if you're not aware, this is not the new gameplay that we're seeing right now. This is just the older story trailer, the last one that came out. The gameplay hasn't actually gone live yet. It's going live in about 25 minutes, and I have that here, and we will be going full screen on that. And I'll try my best not to talk pretty much during that, because obviously I want you guys to, you know, hear what's going on. Looks like my... Alright. But yeah, I think this is going to be pretty exciting. As I said yesterday, we got... I still see somebody saying the audio trailer was overpowering your voice. Yeah, I mean... Maybe I'll turn my mic up just a little bit. I don't know how loud the State of Play stream is going to be. It might not be as loud as that video. But if you guys, if you can't hear me, it's not a huge deal. I mean, I'll try my best to keep the mic where it should be, or my voice, so you can hear me. But I'm not gonna, unless something insane happens, I don't plan on like screaming or anything in the middle of it, or talking like the way I am now, because I know people are going to want to hear what's going on just like I want to. So, I mean, nothing will ever be more awkward than that time when I streamed the Mark Cerny PlayStation 5 deep dive, and I just sat there silently the entire time while he was talking because I was so afraid like I was going to talk over an important part. It was kind of weird, but... that was something maybe I should have reacted to after the fact. I didn't know it was going to be that, lecture-y, I guess you could say. I'm not going to turn dark mode on because I'm just too used to light mode, man. Like, it would take too long for me to get it adjusted to that. I use it on Twitter, though. Sir Speaks a Lot. You're saying hiding from the construction buddies to watch this. Don't fail me now, MBG. Well, thanks, buddy. I really appreciate that. I'm glad you could show up, and thanks for the super chat. But yeah, I mean, what are you guys expecting from this gameplay? I guess I'm trying to figure out how long this State of Play is going to be. Do we think it's going to be longer than 10 minutes? Like, will we get more than 10 minutes of gameplay? Is it going to be one of these things where there's a narrator and they're kind of letting us know from section to section what we're looking at and going in depth into a lot of the gameplay details, or are they just going to kind of show it and let it speak for itself? I'm kind of curious about that. But let me see how many people are waiting here on PlayStation stream. They have already over 13,000 people waiting, so yeah. I guess what's interesting about the State of Play as well is it does go to show that Sony, a lot of you guys are saying 15 to 20 minutes, 18 minutes. A lot of people are saying 18, hopefully 30. I don't think it'll be 30 minutes. I think that's a little bit long. But what this tells me about Sony's approach to State of Play right now is that they are willing to dedicate entire State of Plays to a single game. And I was always wondering if this was something they would do. But, I feel like this is a perfect way to do it, honestly, where these games, a lot of the games that Sony actually puts out, they have so much depth to them that I feel like they do deserve like things like this, like 15 to 20 minute deep dives into the gameplay. And maybe I'm guessing maybe we'll hear some developers talk, but we're gonna have to see about that. Either way, I don't know, man. I'm just excited to see how Sony handles this, because I feel like we're getting the first glimpse into the future of their State of Plays when it comes to having them dedicated to showing games. That E3 is pretty much dead now. I know that there's some people who don't want to hear that, and people don't want to accept that, but it kind of is. And we see what Jeff Keighley's doing with his Summer Game Fest, and I think it's really awesome what he's doing. Thank you for that, Gabriel. And I think that that's basically going to be the replacement for E3. The reason why I'm mentioning this is because I think Sony, I don't think they had any intention of going back to E3 anyway. They skipped 2019. We learned before E3 got canceled this year that they were going to skip 2020. And with the State of Plays they have going on now, I think that to them this is the future of showing off their games. If you think about E3 for Sony, what always made it really big, right? What made it big was not only the new game announcements, but seeing those live gameplay demos, those 10 to 15 minute gameplay demos. I think that's Sony's greatest strength. It has been for a long time when it comes to getting people excited and showing off their games, getting people hyped for them. I think this is just a new way to do it. Give each game the attention it deserves. People clearly will show up and support it. Eddie Lopez, you're saying, is it just going to be Ghost of Tsushima? It seems like it is. Yeah, I think they made it pretty clear that this State of Play is is dedicated to just Ghost of Tsushima. I doubt we'll see anything else. They made it clear that they're not going to show anything regarding the PlayStation 5. So, hold on one sec, guys. Just got to check something on my phone here. But, okay, so we have another super chat here from Mepsic TTV. Well, thank you for that, buddy. That's a generous donation. You're saying a YouTuber got their hands on Xbox Series X and was showing off ray tracing on Minecraft. It's definitely an upgrade, but anyone can make Minecraft look good. Hope all is well. Yeah, I mean, I saw a lot of people trying to compare what Microsoft has shown off so far with the PlayStation 5's tech demo compared to what, they're basically comparing the PS5 tech demo to the, I guess, some of the stuff that Microsoft has shown off so far. Like, they showed off Minecraft with ray tracing. I saw some people saying that was running at 30 frames per second as well, and I'm just like, well, you know. So, all is going well, by the way, buddy. Everything is going well. Thank you for asking. We also have Ilios 24/7. Appreciate the super chat. You're saying, MBG, will you do a prediction on what PlayStation and Xbox game studios will show in both of their gameplay events? I might do something dedicated to that. There's been, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but there's been so much information that has come out, honestly, that it's hard to keep track of all of it. I'm going to, obviously, as long as everything goes according to plan, probably, yeah, you saw my PlayStation logo background there. Keep it real, right? Keep it real? What does that even mean? But I'm losing track of what I'm saying here, guys. Hold on. Okay. I just, for some people who are saying about the audio, or some people are saying like there's no audio. There's no audio for the state of play yet, so don't worry about that. As we get closer to the time it's supposed to start, I'll keep an eye on that. But Ilios, to answer your question, I think I will, or I'll do something similar to it. But we will definitely be talking more about the games that I'm expecting to see or hear about at these upcoming events. So thanks for asking that. We also have Imran Khan. You're saying, have you played Until Dawn yet? Highly recommend it. Unfortunately, I have not. That's one of those games that, thank you, Gabriel. That's one of those games that a lot of people have recommended to me, especially since I'm a horror fan. And they said it's really, really good. Unfortunately, I have not had the chance to play it yet. I've still been playing God of War, and I'm just fully immersed in that once again. That's going to be the first game I talk about in the MBG and Friends game club for the channel members here. So you can look forward to that. But once God of War is done, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to play. Maybe we could save that game for a future MBG and Friends game club or something like that, or I could just review it in the future on my channel. But you're not the only one who's told me that. We have Boone Davey, and you're saying, and here we go again. I'm ready. How you doing? I'm doing good, and yeah, here we go again. Just one day later, Sony's just going with the 1-2 gameplay punch here. Clearly. Mr. Hamster, you're saying, are you hype, MBG? All right, guys. Sorry. I'm drunk. That's okay, Mr. Hamster. I'm just glad you're here, and I am hyped. I think yesterday took a lot out of me because it was just so exciting, but I am... You're saying 17 minutes of Ghost of Tsushima flute music. Are they going to bring the flute guy back? Or, yeah, I don't know what that guy's name was, but I know he was he's one of the only people or is known for that. But that, I don't know. That was cool, but kind of cringy at the same time. We have the expert genius for saying ray tracing is not global illumination. GI is more advanced version of ray tracing, people. Yeah, that's the thing. People were saying, oh, it doesn't have ray tracing, but they were pointing out that global illumination is just as advanced. It's I heard it's almost like a middle ground. It's not as taxing as ray tracing, but it can pretty much do the same thing or close to the same thing that ray tracing achieves, but without having to be so expensive on the actual hardware. So thank you for that. We also have Nick M. Until Dawn is the best horror game I've ever played. Wow, okay. I mean, maybe I will have to play it at some point if it's that good. Can't pass up something that's that good because I'm a huge horror fan. So It's a shame that like Sony didn't pursue them. Supermassive Games, I think they're the one who did it, because that game seemed to have really impressed a lot of people. A surprise hit. We have Dave Carter saying, don't want to Sony to do what Microsoft did. I'm assuming, Dave, you're saying that you basically want to see Sony do the opposite of what Microsoft did, which is actually show like some good gameplay. I'm assuming that's what you're saying anyway. We also have a new member, JJJD Bear. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for choosing to go above and beyond and support me here. Look forward to your exclusive perks, and thank you to all of my members who continue to support me directly, as well as everybody who's interacting here. We have Lines, Sin of the First Pride, Escanor. You're saying, good evening. I'm very excited to see more Ghost of Tsushima. Are you also excited, and will you buy the game? I pre-ordered the collector's edition. Well, good evening to you as well, and I am extremely excited for Ghost of Tsushima. And yes, I'm 100% buying the game. I don't think I'm getting the collector's edition, but I'm definitely buying it, and yeah, I'm going to play the hell out of it. So thank you for that, buddy. I'm very much looking forward to it. And we have Wandering Twilight. You're saying, hey, bud, just wanted to say I always love hearing your perspective on things. By the way, you're the first YouTuber I've ever sent a super chat. Well, thank you, buddy. That is really kind of you. I'm glad that you are willing to do that for me here, and I appreciate that you enjoy hearing my perspective on things. I absolutely love doing this, and it seems like we have a very strong community here, and it's just growing and getting bigger, and it's a really good time. So thank you for that. And we have Gabriel Rudolph. Once again, you're saying, bless, bro. I hope everybody is healthy and well in these crazy times. I agree with you there. Things are pretty crazy right now, and I hope the same for all of you. I hope everybody's doing well. I really appreciate being part of this virtual community. Ghost of Tsushima got me pumped. Yeah, dude, I 100% agree, man. We have a very strong community here. You could tell it's not just, my community, obviously. I don't, feel comfortable talking about it in that way. But, we have the gaming community, and more specifically, a lot of people here seem to be very PlayStation-centric, very much PlayStation enthusiasts, and I think we all kind of share that now more than ever, especially going into next generation. So, yeah, definitely an exciting time here. We have about 19,000 people waiting on PlayStation's channel. So I guess at like 350 or 355, I'll probably refresh this just in case. It should go live on its own. And again, I hope the audio levels will be okay. Some people are telling me I might need to turn my volume up a little bit. So maybe I could just do that now while I'm thinking about it. I just don't want to like completely overpower it, you know what I mean? To where anytime I say something, you can't hear anything at all. It's coming from the other end. That should be okay. If we have any audio issues, I'm sure you guys will let me know. I'll try my best to keep an eye on the chat. Let me make sure, okay. But yeah, guys, my expectations for this, they're not like through the roof, obviously, because we kind of already know what we're getting to a certain extent with Ghost of Tsushima. It's a game that I'm 100% on board with, 100% excited for, will be buying day one and playing day one. I guess my expectation for this is I'm hoping that we'll see like a really in-depth look of all the different, maybe not all the different gameplay mechanics. Like I don't want them to show everything, but just have a really, really good idea of what we're going to see. I see a Dieter Ruzer saying no God of War streaming in the background, eh? Yeah, I made sure this time that there isn't anything eating up all that bandwidth, but thanks for looking out. You may have to look out for that in the future as well, because I guarantee that's not the only time that's ever going to happen. We have Joshua Falls. You're saying, hey, brother, just wanted to say what's up. You're the only YouTuber I've ever backed and given money to. Much respect. Well, thank you, dude. I really appreciate that. You guys have done just an amazing job showing your support here on the channel in the past couple of weeks specifically, and you can just tell that things in the gaming landscape when it comes to next generation, as well as these upcoming games we have coming from Sony, they're just really starting to heat up. It's starting to reach another level, and I'm just so grateful that I can partake in this and, as I said yesterday, just kind of share these moments with you guys. And I look forward to doing it for a very long time, as long as I can. And, my passion for gaming is always here. So thank you for that, buddy. It really means a lot. But yeah, my expectations for this, I mean, I don't know what to call it. Like, I don't want to say that they're not high, because obviously they are. Like, I think, let me put it to you this way, I think no matter what is shown off today, it's going to be exciting, you know, and the only way I could see this going south or going poorly is if they're saying this is going to be a gameplay showcase and they pull like a Microsoft and it's really not a game, you know, no, I know I'm taking shots at Microsoft, but it's actually not a gameplay showcase. We have Surex Cloud 22, thank you for that, buddy. And we also have Rip City 1977, you're saying, you should play Neo 2, amazing game, love the vids. Well, thanks, I'm glad you enjoy the videos. Yeah, Neo 2 was a game that when it came out, I just wasn't sure if I was going to be willing to dive into a game that deeply at that moment in time. But the first Neo and the second one, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh yeah, I'm definitely going to play it, because I don't know. But it is one of those games that I have to get around to playing. There's a lot of games, frankly, I have to try to get around to playing. But we have Mepsic here saying, is there anything specific you're hoping for in Ghost of Tsushima as far as gameplay / abilities? I mean, specifically, I'd have to say the only thing I'm really going to be looking for is how... Well, first of all, when it comes to, like, upgrading Jin and his abilities, how in-depth that is, but I want to know how nuanced and how in-depth the combat is. Like, I want to know, is it just kind of like button mashing, or does it seem like it's coming off that way, or is there more depth to it? It seems like there will be, but that's really the thing I'm going to be focusing on. I can already tell from like a story perspective they have it locked down, and you know, graphics and everything, environments, but I just want to know like what the moment-to-moment gameplay is going to be like and what the upgrade systems are going to be like. Cleans McKean, you're saying, what's your editing software? I forget the name of it, dude. It's like something kind of obscure, but I recently upgraded it. I think it's Muave or something like that, but it works for me, and I really like it, and I just think it's really good. I don't use anything like really, as far as I know, mainstream, but yeah, it gets the job done for me, and it's reliable. And we have MH, you're saying, haven't looked forward to a game this much since Horizon Zero Dawn in 2017. This is the type of games I got a PlayStation 4. I 100% agree, MH. I think that, you know, it's times like this, people who have invested in a PlayStation 4 console, whether it be a base model or a Pro, are really feeling good about it right now. And we have Ivan Garcia. Welcome to the channel, buddy. Thank you for stepping up and going above and beyond here to support me directly. Hopefully you can look forward to your exclusive perks. And as I always say, thank you to all of my members. It really means a lot. We have Corax Cloud 22 saying, I'm not going to read that first part because I don't want to throw any hate towards anybody here. But you are entitled to your opinion. But you say, you know, you say love you, MBG. Well, thanks, buddy. I love all of you guys. I love all of you guys for showing up here and hanging out. And we have Jeremy Alexander, just a generous $20 donation here. Thank you for that, Jeremy. I don't know if you meant to say anything or not, or if you just wanted to donate, but either way, thank you so much for that, buddy. It really, really means a lot here. And we have over 2,200 people watching right now, which is amazing. Do me a favor, hit that like button if you are excited to get some new Ghost of Tsushima gameplay, or if you're just excited to be able to experience this live, because I really like what Sony's doing here with the State of Plays. I'm not going to lie to you guys. So hit that like button. Let me refresh this just to make sure that nothing has started here. And I missed. Okay, so we're still at this screen. I'm not going to keep the chat up on screen once it, you know, kicks off. Obviously, I'm going to let it go full screen, and I'll try to keep the chat up on my phone. But we have Nihal Sharma. Welcome to the channel, another new member. Thank you for stepping up here, going above and beyond. I hope you, as well as all the other members, can look forward to your exclusive perks. I look forward to delivering them to you guys. And I just can't thank you guys enough for the direct support here. You guys are just awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, you know, I noticed, I guess before we start here, I noticed the Xbox community seems to be, at least some individuals seem to really not, I'm not saying everybody. Like, there are some hardcore Xbox guys who have actually come out and said, yeah, like, what Sony showed off was exciting and it looked really good, and they even defended it and said it's going to look even better, like this is an unoptimized demo we saw. But I can't help but notice there's definitely some people in the Xbox community that are, you know, they just can't accept that, you know, they just can't accept that PlayStation knows what they're doing and they know how to get people excited for a new console that's about to come out. I guess I'll just leave it at that. But we are inching ever closer here, guys. I hope we don't run into any issues. I double-checked to make sure that there was nothing running in the background to disrupt this gameplay, or this stream, I should say. There should be nothing eating up the bandwidth. So let me hide this, though. That could possibly eat that up. But I'm saying this because if we have any issues at all, it's definitely going to be on Sony's end, and we might see a little bit of buffering. I'm just letting you guys know now. I'm going to have to take care of this person. Okay. Yeah, so we have, again, 2,500 people watching. Awesome, guys. Thank you for showing up and choosing to hang out with me here. We have about 4 minutes, it says here. So, yeah, exciting times, guys. Exciting times. Let me ask you, is Ghost of Tsushima a game that you would want me to stream day one, stream myself playing? I'm contemplating whether or not I want to stream myself playing The Last of Us Part 2. If I do, I might just stream myself playing like the first hour, maybe 2 hours or something like that. We have another channel member, Graham Gordon. Welcome to the channel, buddy. Appreciate you stepping up like the others here and going above and beyond and showing your support directly. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Look forward to your exclusive perks. I look forward to delivering them because I think they're pretty cool. So thank you for that, buddy. Really appreciate it. A lot of you guys are saying yes. Yeah, so I think like with Ghost of Tsushima and The Last of Us Part 2, we'll probably stream those games. Not the whole thing. I don't want to, because, the truth is I do want to try to enjoy these games on my own. It's a little bit different when you're streaming a game live, but The Last of Us and Ghost of Tsushima, maybe we could stream like the first hour or two, both of them. Similar to what I did with Death Stranding, which was it's always awkward because when you're jumping into a new game, it always feels like the pressure's on. But 2,700 people, guys, hit that like button if you are excited for Ghost of Tsushima gameplay. I know I am. So I'm going to refresh this one more time. I think it's just, it's just it says it's premiering, so it should be pre-recorded. And so in that case, there shouldn't be too many issues, hopefully. Oh man, I was like, the last couple minutes waiting, man. We have another member, Jurgen Berger. Hopefully I'm saying your name correctly, but welcome, buddy. Look forward to your exclusive perks. Thank you for choosing to go above and beyond here and support me and my content directly. Without you guys being here, without those of you who are stepping up and going above and beyond, what I do here on the channel just simply wouldn't be possible. So thank you so much for that. Thank you to everybody who has donated so far and become a member, and thank you for almost 3,000 people here checking this out with me. This is exciting. I'm going to try my best not to talk too much during it, but if there, it is a live reaction after all, but I know that a lot of you guys are going to want to hear it for yourselves and stuff, so just let me know in the chat as we get this started if there are any, very obvious audio issues or anything like that. Hopefully there won't be. Everything should go smoothly. And yeah, guys, let's and we have OJDT14. You're saying love the channel, bro. Well, thank you. If anybody donates any super chats while we are live streaming this, I'll try to get to them once we're finished. But just keep that in mind. I'll probably have to go back and check them out. So I'm going to minimize this now, and I don't know if I should keep refreshing or not. Refresh one more time. Okay, it says it's going to begin shortly. Hide that. Let me just make sure the audio is on. Okay. All right, any second now. I'm getting nervous. Come on, start. I don't know if I should refresh. I don't even know why I'm saying that. It's not 4 o'clock yet on my end, so I need to calm down. See, the hype, it's getting to me. All right, any second now, guys. It should be starting. Turn this up just a little bit here. All right, so I'm hoping I don't have to refresh to get it started. It shouldn't work that way. Should I refresh it, guys? Oh, here we go. Okay. I'm so thankful that they do that. So now we can really test the audio levels. How is it? I think this music is absurdly loud. What do you guys think? That music is really loud on my end, but you guys have to let me know on your end. I'm gonna go full screen, don't worry. I just want to get the audio right. Thank you, Nick, for becoming a member. It's a bit loud. I'm gonna lower it just, yeah. Alright, let's make sure everything's good here. We got 1080p 60. We'll go full screen now, and I'll keep the chat up. Too loud. You guys are saying too loud. See, I feel like the music itself is just going to be loud, and then the game's going to come up and it's not going to be this loud because that music is ridiculous. So a lot of people are saying it's perfect now because it's a little bit delayed on my end, so hopefully it's good. But almost 4,000 people watching. Wow. Alright, here we go. 5 seconds. Let's check it out. I love the way they start this up.
Hello everyone, I'm Jason Connell from Sucker Punch Productions. We have a lot to show you today about Ghost of Tsushima. Combat, customization, special modes. But first, let's take a look at how you explore the world of Tsushima. Exploration has been at the heart of our open world design since the very beginning. But you can't have exploration if you don't have curiosity. So we've continually asked ourselves, how can we let the island guide you in the most thematic and immersive ways possible?
Faster, Nobu.
The guiding wind can take you to all kinds of locations in the game, like this farmstead that's been taken over by the Mongols. It can also take you to your next big story moments, or even help you find rare collectibles. But what about the things that you don't know about, that you haven't seen yet, that you don't know exist? Keep your eyes peeled for other visual cues. Smokestacks on the horizons, interesting and odd-shaped trees, or maybe even animals trying to get your attention.
Quickly, Nobu.
Stay away, my lord. The spirits of vengeful samurai haunt this forest.
Let's go, Nobu.
Tsushima is rich with exploration and discovery, and whether you're just following a string of torii gates that'll lead you to a high mountain shrine, or maybe it's just a fox trying to show you something hidden in the woods. Either way, bring your sense of adventure and let the wind guide you.
Lord Sakai!
Hi, this is Nate Fox from Sucker Punch. Now, we just showed you some exploration, but let's switch gears and check out some combat. If you've ever seen a samurai movie, you know what to expect. Two warriors, sizing each other up. waiting for the other to make the first move.
Fight me! Hirriak Orpe! Bina!
As you can see, the Mongols are everywhere on this island. For Jin to succeed, he has to use real, skillful precision in fighting them. No wasted energy. Every strike must count. Okay, so that was Jin fighting as a samurai. But now let's see him take on the same group of Mongols as the dishonorable Ghost. As the Ghost, he'll use every dirty trick he can think up to even the odds, even using fear as a weapon.
Hui! Arvo! Yasambe! Ой! Өнөөхийг чи хардаа! Агуу! Сэлсэхэй би хуусаатгий! Тэнд байна уу? Arçıla!
You might have noticed that while fighting as the samurai, or sneaking around as the ghost, Jin had on a different set of armor. That's because the armor in this game actually gives you different mechanical advantages. It's not just the way it looks, it helps accent your chosen playstyle. As you explore the world, you'll discover Omamori charms. They'll give you an edge in battle. But more importantly, as your legend grows, you'll develop all new techniques which transform Jin from a samurai into the ghost. But the thing is, you get to decide how those techniques evolve and grow over time. It's always worth keeping an eye out for dye flowers. Find enough of them and you can change the color of an armor. So not only do you get to choose how the ghost gameplay evolves, but you can fine-tune the look as well.
It wouldn't be a Sucker Punch game if it didn't have photo mode. In our new photo mode, we have features such as color grading, depth of field, so you can focus on the right objects. We have a bunch of new features that really underline the motion and movement that's so great about our game. You can control the wind's direction, the speed, you can change out the particles to different types of leaves and fireflies. You can even select a track of music from our original score that might be a little bit more fitting. So if you're into doing a photo, or maybe you actually want to do a video, there's something here for you. Here's a few that I've created. A Japanese voice track option with subtitles is a perfect fit for our game. So I'm happy to say that before the first scene even starts, you'll be able to turn this option on.
お侍様の戦い方じゃない。何を申す。
お侍どころじゃないよ。このお方は猛虎を打ち滅ぼすため。
Here at Sucker Punch, we are huge fans of samurai cinema. We wanted to create a way for you to feel like you're playing your favorite samurai movie. So we created a windy, black and white, film grained out mode that you can turn on from the very beginning of the game. Today, we've shared with you some of the unique ways that you can explore the island of Tsushima. We've also shared with you some of the ways that you can fight as a samurai, or assassinate as the ghost, or customize Jin, or play in special ways. But we have so much more to show you in the future. Ghost of Tsushima comes out on July 17th. Thank you so much for watching today. We'll see you later.
Alright guys, so I'm lowering the audio volume a little bit because I think that was a little bit low on your end, and I could be destroying people's eardrums at the moment, but wow. Okay, that is how you do it. Alright, so we're gonna go over to PlayStation's channel. And yeah, I have some things to say about this. I'm going to mute this and let it play in the background while I try my best to interact with the chat here. We have almost 8,000 people watching right now. Wow, my chat has just completely disappeared. So I'm going to have to bring that back up, but we have almost 8,000 people watching right now. So do me a favor, if you liked what you just saw, okay? If you are excited for Ghost of Tsushima, if you liked the gameplay, if you're planning on buying this game day one, hit that like button. Let's see how many likes we can get. Again, almost 8,000 people watching. Thank you guys for being here. And I decided not to actually talk during what was being shown because it just seems like a lot of people really wanted to listen in on that. So yeah, let me put this in the background and let's talk about this a little bit. I can't keep up with that chat, but we have Skylar18. You're saying, love how you kept quiet the whole time. Yes, it's incredible. Yeah, there was a lot of times I wanted to react there. And I don't know how many mods are in the chat right now, but guys, please do your best if you can. I don't blame you though if you can't. But guys, Microsoft, take notes. Okay, this is gameplay. This is how you show off your game. And this is why I am so confident in Sony's future when it comes to how they're going to showcase their stuff, because this was one of the best things I've seen all year. Okay, now, I know there was a lot of people complaining about the frame rate. Let me see if I can actually increase this a little bit here. But you have to understand, like, yeah, I'll just keep it at 1080p 60 for now. You have to understand this is being streamed, right? So the frame rate you're seeing here is not going to be perfect. It's not going to be exactly what you're going to see when the game comes out, but my God, guys, this game looks phenomenal. Like, this game looks next level. This is exactly what I suspected Sucker Punch was going to do with a game like Ghost of Tsushima, and I've always said that I think this is going to be their moment where they rise above and be... I mean, I know a lot of people already consider Sucker Punch like a top-tier studio, as do I, but I'm talking about like that next level type, right, where it's going to sit up there with God of War, it's going to sit up there with Spider-Man, Insomniac, Sony Santa Monica, stuff like that, Guerrilla Games. I think that this is their moment, and what I'm seeing here is extremely impressive. And we have Sir Speaks a Lot. You're saying, MBG, the chat was lit except for a doofus named Ray Martinez, but damn, what a great showcase. We got to see stealth, customizable characters, photo mode. Dude, I couldn't agree more. Like, this is how you do it. Like, Sony knows how to build the hype, and more importantly, they know how to show off their games the right way. Like, the fact that Sony had enough intuition here to know this is what people want to see. To some people, maybe they would think if they like pitch this, like, oh, this is what we're going to do for this game. We're going to show it off for 15, 20 minutes and have the devs talk about it. There's some people who probably shoot that down. People who are out of touch and be like, no, that's not what people want to see. That's not flashy enough. Like, no, this is what gamers want to see. They want to see the real gameplay. They want to hear it talked about. They want to know what this game is going to be like in depth. We have MH, you're saying, holy S, even better than I thought. Glad I pre-ordered it. Same here, buddy. D-Doc, you're saying, I think this might put Sucker Punch on the map. And I totally agree with you, D-Doc. I think you're basically saying the exact thing I am, where it's like, yeah, people are saying this looks like Game of the Year material. This could be in the running for Game of the Year. Obviously, we have to play it ourselves first, but I agree with you, man. Like, Sucker Punch was already on the map, but this is really going to, as I put it, elevate them to the next level. And we have Jigsaw 13LV. You're saying, I wouldn't say Game of the Year, but it looked good. Reminds me of Assassin's Creed. Hope it's not as repetitive like those games get. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to, like, overhype it. Maybe it's just because I'm just so... I don't know, man. Like, it just... aesthetically, just from an aesthetic level, this game looks beautiful. It sounds beautiful. Like, everything about this game is just like, whew, man... and we have King Yas. You're saying go watch it on PlayStation in 4K. Yeah, I plan to. I would try to stream it in 4K, but I don't think it's going to be able to come through. I could try it if it starts slowing down or anything, then I'll just put it back. Let's see if we can actually get that 4K quality going here in the background. Maybe I'll just try 1440p for right now, because I think trying to stream at 4K 60, that's just not going to happen. But I don't even know if it's going to bump it up to 1440p for me right now. But guys, what are you thinking about this? What are you thinking about the gameplay we just saw? Are you now, if you weren't sold originally on Ghost of Tsushima, are you now? We have True Witty saying, the new Assassin's Creed killer, best stop ever. Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of comparisons, but this looks better than Assassin's Creed in my opinion. We have Ekim Honoram, you're saying, I pre-ordered this and The Last of Us 2, and I'm probably pre-ordering PS5, even better games coming on this platform in the future. Yeah, dude, I have to agree. This is another area where, again, like, we're looking at a current generation game here. And I know that maybe the quality was reduced through the stream, but you just see how far, like, if you compare this game, if you go watch this game in 4K, or this gameplay stream in 4K, right, natively, and you compare that to what Sucker Punch did originally at the beginning of this generation with Infamous Second Son, wow, yeah, I can't imagine what they're going to do with the PS5. We have Lions, Sin of the Pride, Lord Escanor, you're saying, I'm so glad, I already read that one, but just don't want to lose track here. We have Atticus, you're saying, people forget that Sucker Punch was neck and neck with Naughty Dog and Santa Monica in the PS2 era. This game is them showing the world that they're back and better than ever. 100% agree, buddy. I think that Sucker Punch, you know, they've been working on this game for a long time, and we're so close to the launch, and they waited to show this gameplay, but just looking at this, you can tell a lot has went into this game, and I can't wait for it, man. We also have Mepsic, once again, you're saying this was raw gameplay. Most developers wouldn't be this confident and put their stuff out there. It wasn't a cinematic or anything like that. They walked us through the entire camp. Great job, Sucker Punch. Dude, 100% agree. Again, Xbox, other publishers around the globe, take notes. This is how you not only get people excited for your game, but this is how you show confidence in your game. This is how you prove to people that you are capable of making a great video game. Right? A video game that people want to go out there, buy, and play for hours. We have Cole Bennett, you're saying, I don't believe it will be able to, it won't be to the scale of Red Dead Redemption 2 because Rockstar had so many years, but this game is so beautiful and looks to be an outstanding exclusive. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say when looking at this if this can, like, be compared to Red Dead Redemption 2, but I don't know, man. It might. We'll have to wait and see about that, but either way, it's going to hold its own, I'll tell you that. We have Legend Skinner, you're saying, that black and white filter with the Japanese dub, 7 samurai levels of badass, can't wait. Yeah, that was awesome. Like, there was a lot to take in here, and I'm going to have to watch it a couple more times. But, yeah, dude, like, they're going all out with this. I love how there's two different ways you can play the game, too, like, as the samurai or the ghost. I really like that aspect. And the music was just, phenomenal. Fred Vance, I like how they made a new way to get around without using traditional waypoints. Plus, it seems there is wild animals to watch out for. Yeah, dude, I have to say, out of everything I've seen so far, that is the most unique. Like, that takes some balls, honestly, to put in a AAA video game. Because a lot of people are going to be like, man, this game sucks, I don't know where to go. But I like that they use the animals and kind of like they're using the environment as a way to help guide you. I think that is super cool, super innovative, and if they pull it off successfully in the way they're hoping to, I think we could see other developers try to copy that. We have Sir Speaks a Lot. You're saying, what did you think of the music? I loved it. I also loved it, buddy. I think the music was phenomenal, and I think that's one of the things that's actually going to bring, I think it's already bringing the game to another level where, the soundtrack for a game like this has to stand out, and I think they've achieved that for sure. We have Elios 24/7. Once again, you're saying Microsoft, Halo Infinite, and Hellblade 2 better be damn good if they want to compete with this. Ghost of Tsushima looks amazing. Microsoft, take notes. Honestly, I agree, man. I am excited for Hellblade 2. Frankly, I'm not too excited for Halo Infinite. I'm just not a big fan. But I do 100% agree that if Microsoft has any chance of trying to, after hiring all this talent, after buying these studios, creating the initiative from the ground up, any real chance of competing in a real meaningful way with some of this stuff, they are gonna have to take notes. They don't have to copy, but there's just some things here when you look at this gameplay in the background. People kind of make fun of Sony, like, oh, all their games look the same, they all follow the same old. I don't think so, man. Like, what? Just because they're all third person, because a lot of them are very mature themed. I don't agree with that, right? Like, that's what people want. That's what Sony does best. And just because they're doubling down on that and trying to refine it and make it even better, I don't think you can knock them for that. We also have Miguel Hooks. You're saying, can't wait to get this. Thank you guys for all the super chats here. We have Terrence Williams. You're saying, come out on my birthday. It comes out on your birthday. Great music, gorgeous game. Agreed, 100%. Absolutely gorgeous. Aesthetically, I think this is possibly one of the best looking games this generation. Like, it just looks beautiful, honestly. The scenery, the setting, it's awesome. That's not even to mention the photorealistic look in in the characters and their faces. We have JJJ D-Bear saying, I saw so many people saying that Ghost of Tsushima had no confidence from Sony, and that's why they weren't advertising, but this goes to show how wrong people are. Yeah, dude, I know what you're talking about. I heard some people saying that as well, like maybe this isn't why they're talking. This is why they're not talking about it as much. They're not hyping it up as much as their other games and whatnot, and I totally agree. Like, this just proves the exact opposite. This proves that they have all the confidence in the world in Sucker Punch being able to really deliver here with something next level, something that I think, honestly, everybody has a lot of confidence in at this point. We have Cobra Force. You're saying one thing is for sure, this game is going to make the PS4 Pro scream like a jet engine exhaust, just like Final Fantasy VII Remake. Yeah, that's if there's any downside to all of this and what we're seeing with Sony's games, it's that. I will admit that my PlayStation 4 Pro really kicks up sometimes, especially with these more graphically demanding games. But this is one thing that I honestly can't wait for the PlayStation 5 for, is when we get the PS5 in our hands, it doesn't have this same audio issue, like when it comes to how noisy the fan can get and how loud it can get. But hey, that's just one small problem to have, right? Troy, you're saying the lack of UI makes this game pop. Good call, Sucker Punch. Yeah, dude, I agree with that as well. It really does make you just get even more immersed into it based off of what we've seen here. And we also have Sir Speaks a Lot. You're saying it looks like they had inspiration from Neo with their stance changes also. So apart from the different ways to play, you have stances to add on top. Yeah, I noticed that too. Like, this stream actually delivered exactly what I was hoping for. Literally exactly what I was hoping for, where they go in depth, in detail about all of the different gameplay aspects. They're not giving everything away, but they want you to have a pretty good general understanding of all the different things you're going to be able to do gameplay wise, and having the different stances. Yeah, that is something that I think will enhance the gameplay for sure. I also like the customization aspect. That part kind of surprised me a little bit. I didn't expect it to be that customizable, and I love customization in my games, so that is really cool. We also have Gabriel Rudolph. Once again, you're saying, love the navigation mechanics, wind/wildlife. Interesting motion capture is in English. I'd prefer the Japanese looking natural. Still looks amazing, aesthetic AF. I wonder how it will upscale in the PS5. Yeah, dude, that's actually another thing that I'm sitting here wondering is, like, you know, when we see these games played on PlayStation 5, we know the PS5 is going to have a boost mode that will automatically bump these games up. I do wonder if a game like Ghost of Tsushima and even The Last of Us Part 2, if they're going to get just like free upgrade enhancements because they're being built like alongside the development of the PlayStation 5. I don't know. Either way, I mean, the game stands on its own. You know, it looks like a next-gen game in some cases, in my opinion. We have Jeff Scott. You're saying PlayStation just does games better than Xbox. Simple. I have to agree, man. I know that there's a lot of people who look at this and listen to me and they think that it's all about just being a fanboy and blindly praising, but it's not, man. Like, how can you look at games like The Last of Us Part 2 and a game like Ghost of Tsushima both launching within a month of each other and say that this is blind praise? It's not. Like, Xbox fans, in my opinion, like the people who are like diehard bleed green Xbox guys, they would kill to have games like this exclusively on their platform. I don't care what anybody says, they would. And you know why? Because they're damn good games. That's why. No offense to Xbox's games, they do have some good games for sure, but they don't have something like this, right? They don't have something like The Last of Us 2. And that's where Xbox, I think, really needs to step it up. King Charles, I appreciate that super chat, buddy. It just says message retracted. I don't know why. I don't know, maybe if you did that willingly, but thank you nonetheless for that super chat. Savage Giraffe 1 says Sony really does make the best games. I mean, yeah, dude, like this is insane what they just did right here. This is a literal 1-2 punch to the competition, that being Xbox, and just like a 1-2 shot for fans to look at and be excited about, because yesterday we got the first significant PlayStation 5 gameplay with that tech demo, and people were all over that. And now we're getting this amazing looking gameplay for a game that we're going to play in just a few weeks from now. I mean, it's a little bit more than a few weeks, but I mean, July, 17th? Yeah, come on. I mean, that is, we have the Dark Rizil, I don't know if I'm saying her name right, but MBG, to fix the noise problem, you have to clean your fan inside. Worked for me and my friend. I did try doing that. I don't know if you mean like literally open up the console. I don't know if I'm willing to do that because I don't want to mess with it too much, but I did try to like air it out, and blow on it and everything and try to get all the dust out. But it's just for the most graphically demanding games it does that. Not all games, but we have Grant Shearer. You're saying they are doing this with 4.2 T-flops. Pure power cannot compete with unmatched talent. Sony's developers are too good. And you do raise a good point there, buddy, where it's not just a matter of power, right? It's not just a matter of T-flops. It's what can this talent do with what they're given it. How's that saying go? Where it's not the quality of the tools, it's the skill of the person using those tools, right? Like, you could give somebody a not so great tool, and this is not me knocking the PlayStation console or making it sound like it's bad. I'm just saying, like, you could give craftsman a not so great tool, but if they have skill, if they have talent, they'll do something with it. They'll make it work. They'll work with what they have, and they'll still end up impressing. The person who doesn't really know what they're doing or doesn't have that much skill, they're the one that are going to, they're going to complain, oh, my tool set is not good enough, and I can't work with this. And Sony's developers are proving that you don't need to have the world's most powerful console. I mean, it's a nice thing to have in tout, marketing-wise, but you don't need to have that to create some of the best-looking games in the world, Because look at this right here. Like, this is phenomenal looking. I mean, this is why I just do not care. I know we talked so much on this channel about the whole T-flop difference and whatnot, because, people were interested in it, but I've always said that, guys, like, it's not going to matter. Like, I understand that Xbox has the more powerful console, and I understand that there's a lot of Xbox fans who want to run with that and be happy about that, and that's fine. But do not use that as, like, this is something that we're going to use as ammunition against PlayStation fans and the PS5. Like, no. Wait until you see Sony's first-party games. Just wait until you see them. Your jaws are going to be on the damn floor. I promise you. My jaw's already on the floor for the PS4 games. Savage Giraffe 1, once again, you're saying people can hate all they want, but even The Last of Us 2 is on another level graphically. I agree 100%, man. Like, regardless of how you end up feeling about the story of The Last of Us Part 2 when it's out, I mean, dude, like, you look at that game and you're like, this is talent. This is what talent can do with 4.2 T-flops. Sir Speaks a Lot, once again, you're saying, looking forward to your video on this game. I expect a lot of backlash from Xbox players in your comments for being a, quote, fanboy, unquote. You're just in awe. Yeah, dude, that's the thing. Like, I mean, I can understand if somebody is an Xbox fan and they look at this game and they say, I'm not that interested. To me, it just looks like an Assassin's Creed clone. Fine. But to look at everybody else's excitement and basically try to downplay that, there's a reason why so many people are excited for this game. Okay, there's a reason why so many people, I don't know what's happening right now. That just glitched out badly. But there's a reason why so many people are, I mean, I haven't looked at the reaction yet. I can only go based off of the amount of people who are watching me right now, which again, we have over 4,000 people watching. Guys, hit that like button. Hit that like button if you either enjoy the content here, which first of all, thank you, but if you liked what you saw, if you're even more excited for Ghost of Tsushima, hit that like button to help this stream out and bump it up some. But I don't know, man, like, if you want to try to bring people's excitement down because you're maybe deep down inside jealous for some reason or something, like, don't do that. Just enjoy it. Like, this is a great game, I mean, the fact that it's exclusive to PlayStation, it just makes PlayStation fans feel like, wow, like, my purchase of the PS4 console it's already justified, but now it's really justified. But it's a great game, guys. We have Fred Vance. You're saying, I'm going to get sidetracked out of the gate to go explore randomly and just see what I can stumble across while going everywhere. Yeah, dude, I'm actually afraid of that too. Like, the fact that there's no real waypoints, it just makes me feel like I'm going to be all over the place all the time. But maybe that's not a bad thing, dude. That just sounds like it's going to create a more immersive world, a more immersive game that you can literally get lost in, and not in a bad way, right? We have Judson Watkins. You're saying, I'm fascinated with with Japanese history and culture. Sucker Punch had to have learned and understand techniques that samurai used by different teachings. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that they're bragging about with this game. They're bragging about the overall authenticity of it, how they're trying to stay true to a lot of the culture and the history. Not everything's going to be perfectly exact. They do have to take some liberties, but overall, they are pushing authenticity, and that is something that does get me excited as well, because you can tell this is a very grounded game, and that is something that Sony excels at in many of their different studios, the type of games they create. We have Terror saying, bro, I own a PS4 Pro, but you can't act like the early PS4 owners didn't use graphics as ammo against the original Xbox One. Well, of course we did. Of course we did, because that's just the nature of how these things work. I'm not trying to say that there aren't times that PlayStation fans and even the most hardcore of us, that there aren't times where we don't, like, for example, when the PS4 Pro was the more powerful console, yeah, take that, guys, we have the more powerful console. But the thing is, like, there's just some things you can run with and others you can't. And right now, all I'm trying to say is that it's perfectly fine for Xbox guys to want to run around saying we have the more powerful console, we have the world's most powerful console, take that, our games are going to look better. But then Sony is basically combating that by showing this stuff. It just negates it, you know what I mean? And granted, I will admit that during the early Xbox One days with games like Rise, yes, Xbox, in my opinion, did prove that they can have very good-looking games. I'm not saying that there isn't some unfair, contradictions or hypocritical stuff that happens. There always is. But right now, guys, I'm just saying, like, PlayStation's looking pretty damn good. That's all I'm trying to say. And before I miss other super chats here, because this chat's going crazy, we have Eddie Who. You're saying, just watched to show support, MEG. Appreciate you always being so genuine, man. Also, how awesome is it to be a PlayStation fan right now? Yeah, dude, I mean, you're speaking to it right here. Right now is a really damn good time to be a PlayStation fan. And you don't have to be, right? I'm not saying anybody has to be, but you can't bring this down. Like, this hype is genuine. This excitement is genuine. And to try to go against it is basically just trying to go against something. It's not natural. Like, how can you look at this game right now and say, man, this doesn't look good, this looks terrible? Like, who in their right mind would say that? It doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, I have to say, guys, like, if I had to pick one thing just off the top of my head that I saw here that impresses me, I think it's just the world that Sucker Punch has created here. Like, even just looking at it now, like, they really, really created a beautiful looking world, artistically, aesthetically. The levels, I mean, I don't even know if you can call them levels, but it seems seamless. It looks amazing. And I mean, I know that the most important thing to all games, obviously, is the gameplay, but even the gameplay looked amazing. But I am just so impressed, man. Like, when I think about playing Infamous Second Son, that was one of the things that really impressed me with it, was just the look of the game, the look of the powers that you could get as Delsin Rowe, and looking that they kind of carried that over in a more grounded way here by fleshing this world out and making it look amazing. Absolutely love it. We have Cameron Youngs. I thank you for that generous donation, buddy. You're saying your thoughts on Sony expanding or reducing teams like Sucker Punch and Naughty Dog with the success or lack of with their next games. Sucker Punch only got 2 games out this console lifecycle, needs a bigger team. That's actually a really good question, dude, because there's no doubt that all of Sony's teams are pretty big, and you would assume that every time Sony's studios put out a game that's successful, whether it be critically or commercially or both. Like, let me look at Days Gone for an example here. It was not the most successful game critically out of the gate, but it was very successful commercially. There's no doubt that they're going to make a second game for Days Gone, and because of that, I think it would make sense that they are now going to give them the green light, hire more people, increase the size of your team so you can do more at a more efficient rate. And I think maybe after looking at this, I mean, you're probably referring to Naughty Dog, like if The Last of Us 2 fails to deliver in the exact way that maybe Sony was hoping, is it going to hit their expectations? If not, will Naughty Dog see their team size reduced potentially? And if Sucker Punch actually does better, like if their game sells more, does better critically, would we see them decide to pump up Sucker Punch even more at that point? It could be. I think both games are going to do just fine. I am interested to see, though, specifically how well Ghost of Tsushima does, because I think The Last of Us 2 is going to do well no matter what. I think it just is. But this game, it's like, is this that like game that it's going to get 10 out of 10s? I don't know. But that was a really good question, buddy. Maybe we'll explore that topic more later on. We'll probably do some dedicated videos to that in the future. We have Bryson here. You're saying when the PS5 was more powerful, it showed 1080 versus 950. Yeah, that is true. There's no denying that. Scrolling down here, we also have Triakis253. You're saying the open world of Ghost of Tsushima reminds me of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Yeah, I mean, aesthetically, it kind of has like those colors that really stand out and pop out to you. I could see where you are getting that comparison. I do agree to a certain extent there. I think this looks like a more photorealistic version, I guess you could say. We have Savage Giraffe 1. Thank you for that donation, buddy. You're saying, what's crazy is that even though this is for PS4, my hype level for the PS5 is now on another level. Keep the hype up, man. Love your content. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for all of your super chats and your donations, guys. And, I'm not just blindly agreeing here, but I have to agree that, again, like, the timing of this has to have been done purposely by Sony, because, like, Sony's like, look, we're not ready to show our first-party stuff for the PS5. We still have to make room for The Last of Us Part 2 to breathe, and we especially have to make room for Ghost of Tsushima to breathe, because Ghost of Tsushima is coming out in mid-July. That's very close to, we're getting closer to the launch of the PS5 here, and whenever that big event's going to be. And so I think the way they did it, we're like, we're going to allow Epic Games to show off this real-time demo, this live play. For those who don't know, it is a playable demo. They confirmed, Epic Games is, that demo they showed for the PS5 yesterday is in fact playable. We're going to show this off to give people a little taste, a little glimpse into what they can expect with the PS5. Then we're going to show our first party game off in depth, right, the next day. But for current generation, you combine those two things together, yeah, I think it's safe to say that people are insanely hyped now for what specifically Sony Studios are going to be able to achieve on the PS5. And I'm going to put it bluntly, there's no stopping this hype train. There really is no stopping this hype train because it's genuine. This isn't smoke and mirrors. This is the opposite of that. This is raw gameplay. This is what gamers want to see. And I have to say, my hat's off to Sony. My hat's off to Sucker Punch. This is what we want to see, guys. And I'm so happy to know that Sony, even though they have went through some management structure changes and whatnot, that they still have the understanding, their marketing team or whoever's in charge of making these decisions, that people want to see the gameplay. I'm so glad they still understand that, because my greatest fear is that, like, eventually people are going to be in charge and they're going to be out of touch and not realize that that's what gamers want to see. We also have Judson Watkins who's saying, looks like I'm getting the collector's edition. Yeah, man, I think that this has done, I mean, if there's anything here that has done a phenomenal job in selling this game, I mean, we had gameplay back in 2018, but it was more like a cinematic type looking gameplay. We had the trailers, but this right here, this is how you sell your game. You want to sell video games for $60? Show them the meat and potatoes. This is the meat and potatoes. And I think a lot of people feel that way now. We have Ice Mellow. You're saying, I feel like if you haven't had the ability to own both consoles, there's always going to be hate towards one. But I like both. One caters to campaign and family, while others caters to multiplayer and some campaign. And I totally understand that, man. I mean, I know I'm hard on Xbox on this channel, but to be honest, I think a big reason for that is because I attract a lot of the more hardcore Xbox fans, and there's just, sometimes I pay very close attention. I don't mean to, but sometimes I pay close attention to the negativity that comes from a lot of Xbox fans who, they just want Xbox to be in the position that PlayStation is in, right? And it's just not going to be that way for a long time, if ever. But the thing is, I do agree, I think they both have their own things they specialize in. I would argue that it's become kind of clear that people like what Sony's doing better, and I guess I just think that Microsoft would do well to maybe take some notes, take some cues. Don't copy them note for note to the T, right? Just implement some of the things that Sony has proven, people are excited about, gamers want this generation, into some of your games next generation. That's all. We have Chris B. You're saying, I think the Xbox One initially being slower than the PS4 confused Microsoft into thinking their sales problem was power instead of games. Well, I mean, that's where it's, when you think back to that, there's no doubt that Microsoft was in a lot of trouble in general. I just think that the fact that their console was more expensive and less powerful really was just kind of the final nail in the coffin. I don't think that there was any way realistically that, them putting out the Xbox One X, having the more powerful console, I don't think there's any way that was going to turn the ship around entirely. But yeah, If you go back, people were saying that a lot of the Xbox One games in the beginning really weren't that bad, but they just got worse and worse as the generation went on. Then they put out a more powerful console, but then they put out games like Crackdown 3, and people are like, what the hell is going on here? So if they can get that powerful console and then they can get their games straight, I think they'll be good to go. We have Henry Haskin, you're saying Ghost of Tsushima looks good, but will it have the level of microtransactions that Assassin's Creed has? I wouldn't suspect it will. We don't know if this game's going to have microtransactions, but if Sony's track record is anything to go by with the majority of their first-party games, I would say no, it's probably not. They're not going to have microtransactions. We have Josh Z. You're saying, I don't have much tolerance for games lately. I don't know why. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Josh. I think sometimes we all get into gaming ruts, but just hang in there, and I'm sure it'll come back. And maybe playing a game like Ghost of Tsushima will bring you right back to where you were originally when it comes to enjoying games. We have True Witty. Once again, you're saying there's no doubt Sony's devs are top tier in the world. You wonder why Sony hasn't showed the system yet. These games are still coming to PS5, and the PS5 is coming. Yeah, dude, that's the thing. People who are rushing Sony saying you need to show something now, I realize there's no reason in the world to think that. Sony doesn't, now more than ever, Sony doesn't have to rush anything, man. They were just asked yesterday, do you feel threatened by Microsoft's aggressive marketing campaign with their next-gen console? Do you think that maybe your rollout of news and information has been too slow? And they're just straight up savage, yeah, we'll see when the sales come out if that's true or not. And I'm just like, damn, Sony ain't playing around, dude. They're just we know what we have, and we know what we have is good, and they're confident. I don't think it's arrogance. Some people look at it as arrogance. It's not. This is confidence. What you see here, right in front of you, this is confidence. This is not arrogance. Okay, arrogance would be Sony saying, we don't need to show you gameplay because you already know what to expect. That would be arrogance. This is confidence. And people trying to tell them, oh, you better be scared. You better watch out. They are keeping a lookout. Their guard isn't down. But they know what they have, and they know what they have is good. We have Savage Giraffe 1 once again saying, for some reason, I'm starting to see a slow burn in Microsoft's future, and it begins now. Well, I will admit to you that, towards the beginning of this year, it really seemed like maybe, just maybe, if Microsoft plays all their cards perfectly, we could see them go toe-to-toe with Sony in a big way here. And then, out of nowhere, Sony finally lifts a finger, and then it's just oh, wait, no. We're basically seeing the exact same thing play out that that happened last generation. Not the exact same thing, but very similar. At least towards the end of the generation. Obviously, Microsoft's rollout of the Xbox One has been a complete 180 compared to the Xbox One, or the Xbox Series X rollout, I should say, was a complete 180 compared to what we saw with the Xbox One. But I have to say that, honestly, it just seems to me that Microsoft is still maybe possibly having that big issue they had with the last couple years of the Xbox One's life cycle. We're still actually in it right now where, you guys got to bring the games, and if you're going to hype people up for next gen, you got to show games that not only look awesome and look different, but that look big and exciting. Like what we're seeing right here with Ghost of Tsushima. I mean, if Sony wanted to make this a launch title for PS5, could you just imagine how people would feel right now? They're not going to do that, obviously, for many obvious reasons, but just imagine if what we're seeing right here, if it looked even better and it was a PlayStation 5 launch title. Just, you know what I'm saying? Sony could do that if they wanted to, but they're not going to. They're going to finish out their PlayStation 4 life cycle in the biggest and best way possible, and they're going to make way for all of the big stuff that's coming next generation, man. They've planned it out absolutely perfectly based off of what I've seen so far. We also have straight from VA1, you're saying Xbox has shown at least 75% of what their next-gen system has to offer. The wow factor has passed, and Sony now has the attention for everyone. You're not the only person I've seen say that, honestly, dude. A lot of people have said to me that Xbox's moment has come and passed. This big thing that they had going on. Let me take care of this guy. This big thing that they had going on, hyping people up for the first next-gen showcase with their Inside Xbox for third-party games, that was a big opportunity for them, and they missed it. They missed it by a mile. And I think, dude, I'm telling you, Sony countered in they straight up, I'm sorry, man. I know I've been calling this a 1-2 punch to Xbox from PlayStation, but at this point, after seeing this Ghost of Tsushima gameplay the next day, this is a straight uppercut to the jaw of Xbox, and they're going to be feeling this for a little bit of time now, and so are the fans. So they're going to have to go back to the drawing board if they if they didn't have anything significant planned. I'm sure they do, but they're just going to have to make sure that whatever it is you thought you had that was big, you need to make it bigger, and you need to make it bigger now. And that's a good thing for us, guys. That's a good thing, because that just means we're going to get more. We have Simi, you're saying, love it, keep it up, please, but please do a face reveal. Maybe eventually. I think eventually down the line, we may, I'll probably bring my face up on the channel more often, but that's probably not going to happen until sometime after, eventually, if it ever happens, if we hit 100K. I don't want to promise anything, but you're not the only one that's asked that. We have Omega Slasher Buster 1. You're saying there will be petitions for this to be on Xbox. LOL. Yeah, the irony in that, huh? We also have Sir Speaks a Lot. You're saying now if Sony can get the rights to the canceled Dragon game from the Xbox One, Scalebound, oh man, I was so ready for that game when it was announced. Yeah, dude, that would be too much. Sony would just be, that's like curb stomping at that point. Sony shouldn't do that. I mean, I'd love to see Scalebound, but that's too painful, man, for Xbox players. Don't do that. That would be savage as hell, though, if that ever happened. We have Fred Vance. Once again, you're saying Sony is being more like Ghost Jin, stalking and striking from the shadow. Never underestimate what you don't expect. And that's the thing, dude, but that's just it, is like, even when you're talking about, like, not expecting it, right? But I think it's safe to say this is what a lot of PlayStation fans for the past couple of years, for at least the past 5 years, this is what they've come to expect. I mean, I know it sounds cheesy, I know it sounds cliche, but they've come to expect greatness, man. And it's clear that greatness is still here. There's more greatness coming, and I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon, guys. So really quick, we still have over 3,700 people here hanging out with me, listening to me rant and rave. Thank you guys so much. The support has been just literally next level these past couple days, and I just want to thank you guys so much. So make sure you hit that like button, guys. Let's see if it's possible. We were able to do it yesterday. Let's see if we can do it again. Can we get over 3,000 likes? That was just incredible. In fact, yesterday's video or stream was over 4,000 likes. Can we get this one over 3,000 to bump this up and let people experience this with us and get people just that much more excited for what's to come, guys? But yeah, I have to say that I know Sony stated plays in the past. Real quick, we also have Player One here. You're saying that's what Sony does, make you itch for the games, then pow, you got to get that game. Yeah, dude. It seems like Sony really is the master of selling video games. Like they are. Like, so is Nintendo, of course, but I'm talking about like these big, mature themed, grounded experiences. Like, nobody does it like Sony. There are some third parties, obviously, like Rockstar and CD Projekt Red, but I don't know, man. Like, Sony's first party studios just kick ass, honestly. They really do. We have Prime Reviews. You're saying, I don't want to hear nothing about a teraflop anymore. Specs don't matter. I 100% agree, buddy. I'm not going to lie to you right now. Like, that teraflop thing lasted for about, like, one hot second, and then it was gone. Who's talking about teraflops now? I mean, I'm probably one of the only people freaking talking about them anymore because I'm trying to let people know just how irrelevant it really is. People were complaining to me about that demo that Sony showed off yesterday, and I'm like, it's 1440p, 30 FPS. I guess you missed the part where all of the assets are rendered in 8K and they're not downscaled. I guess you missed the part where it's an unoptimized demo and there's a hell of a lot more they can do with it if they were to optimize it fully. I guess you're missing the part where it's using, not ray tracing, but, dynamic global illumination, right? I think that's what it's called. Like, these are things that people are just like, they're missing it. They're not understanding. Like, all those things you saw yesterday were next gen. That's next gen stuff, and it's unoptimized. Oh, God. Now I'm really starting to rant here. But we also have iSkylar18 once again. You're saying Sony needs to buy the Dead Space IP, and I will strip naked. Enough said. Whoa, let's calm down now, iSkylar18. Fortunately, I don't think you're going to have to do that, but unfortunately, I think that's because I don't think Sony's going to buy the Dead Space IP. If anything, I think we could see maybe a remake or a remaster eventually from EA, because they have a game, to give you a little bit of hope here, EA has a game that they're remaking or remastering right now. A lot of people think it's Mass Effect or Mass Effect Trilogy that they're going to probably release in the next year or two. When they do, if it's a big success, then there's no doubt they're probably going to start remaking and remastering more of their games to make more money, because people like that stuff sometimes. So there is a little bit of hope for you, iSkylar. We also have a fifth. You're saying Xbox had to start their marketing campaign for next gen early to stay relevant. Otherwise, what would they be talking about? That's a good point. I mean, there's no doubt that the hype and excitement for Xbox was pretty much at zero towards like the beginning of 2019 and even towards the end of it. And in my opinion, towards the very end when they announced the Xbox Series X, yeah, it was very clear to me that Microsoft had to get the ball rolling. They had to before they go into complete irrelevance or obscurity. And I think they did a good job. I just think they had a massive misstep with this next-gen showcase. And like the reason why I'm saying it's massive is because it alone wasn't good, but the fact that Sony countered it in such a way, damn, like I don't think Microsoft saw that coming, and I'm sure that they're really licking their wounds right now. So we also have Gabriel Rudolph again. You're saying, Feet, people want you to start OnlyFans, bro. Never gonna happen, man. I don't know. You know, the dude who started that, this is gonna live on for the channel forever. But we have Edgy Clementine. You're saying the phrase Xbox is the most powerful console isn't a good narrative. 1.7 T-flops higher in 1 unit of GPU, but it's inferior in other points of console design. That's what I've heard. I mean, it's weird because I see a lot of Xbox guys defending, saying, no, every aspect is superior. But yet all I hear are developers talking about how Sony's design with the PlayStation 5 is truly innovative and is going to allow them to do things that literally weren't possible. I mean, just go look at what Tim Sweeney had to say yesterday about the PS5. You're not hearing anybody say this, at least not big developers like that. I mean, frankly, the only people I'm hearing say that are people who are kind of associated with Microsoft in a closer way. But maybe I'm not looking hard enough. I don't know. The Rats Cast, you're saying Xbox will be able to touch what Sony and Sucker Punch just showed. I'm assuming you meant to say won't be able to touch what Sony and Sucker Punch just showed. A black and white movie version of the game. Sony left Microsoft in the dust. I mean, yeah, we're not. I know that we're like. I'm not trying to turn this into a Xbox sucks thing because that's not it. Like, but there's no doubt that these two are in competition, and I want the competition to be more fierce from Xbox. I do. Like, I know it's easy to be like, look at PlayStation and its fans. Now we can dunk on Xbox and its fans. But realistically, I just want Microsoft to, the next time they ring the bell and they're like, all right, guys, it's our big July event. It's time for our games. For the love of God, Microsoft, Phil Spencer, please deliver. You delivered this console, the Xbox Series X. Deliver the games, man. Deliver those damn games. Because while you're over there getting people hyped in July for your Xbox event, you know what I'm going to be doing in July, Phil? I'm sorry. I mean, obviously I'll watch the event and I'll stream it. But you know what I'm going to be doing for the majority of July? I'm going to be playing Ghost of Tsushima on my PS4 Pro. That's what I'm going to be doing for the majority of July. So, yeah, we have Savage Giraffe 1 once again. Thank you guys so much. You're saying this game alone proves why the PS5 is going to be the console to play on. And honestly, dude, I know I've been saying this to a lot of you guys, but I think you're right, man. I think that Sony, they just have this ability to let people know, like, look, this is why you're going to want to buy the next PlayStation. Like, obviously it's their job to sell it to you, but they do such a good job in just giving the gamers what they want more often than not. And they just do it in such a good way. I mean, you look at how critically acclaimed their games are. You look at how well they handle their presentations, as we're seeing here, as we saw yesterday, and is it any wonder why PlayStation is in the lead that they're in? Is it any wonder why there's so many hardcore PlayStation enthusiasts who are just so hungry and ready for the next big game to be revealed and shown off? You know, I mean, I'm playing God of War again, guys, and this game is like over 2 years old at this point, and I'm still like if God of War came out, you know, instead like at the time that Ghost of Tsushima is going to come out, I would still be blown away. Like, I'd be like, damn, like, this is still next level, man. So, yeah, I don't know, guys. Obviously, there's a lot of ranting and raving. We still have over 3,000 people watching right now, which is just incredible, guys. I really can't thank you enough. Be sure to hit that like button. I apologize for sounding like a broken record, but you guys have absolutely no idea how important and critical it is to leave a like to help this stream out and bump it up so that way YouTube's algorithm blesses it and more people can be exposed to the channel, more people can join the community here, and we can get these live streams even, you know, going even better than they have been. I mean, we had over 7,000 people, almost 8,000 people watching at one point, which was just mad, guys. Like, and I never used that word to describe that. It was mad. Like, it was just insane. So I also like this little thing they're doing here. If you look at the bottom left, they actually give you a little description of what you're seeing and why. And that, I know it's so small, it's so subtle, but that's so important too, right? Because, like, even right now, I'm not listening to the narration, but I can still see that text. And it's just, I'm telling you, man, the people over there who come up with this stuff at Sony, who have to figure out, like, this is what we're going to say, this is how we're going to present it, they really know what they're doing. I'm going to read this next super chat. Let me just take a drink here. My throat's getting hoarse again. That awkward dead air while I chug some water. But, yeah, this has been an exciting past 48 hours, guys. I got to tell you, we have NES Ninja Skills. You're saying, hey, MBG, do you think there will be a karma system like Infamous in Ghost, Samurai Good, or Ghost Bad? To be honest, buddy, I think that Sucker Punch, if I'm not mistaken, and I could be, but I think they confirmed that this is pretty much going to be their first game where they're not going to have a karma system like that. So maybe that's a little bit of a letdown for some people, but I think it's because, like, the idea is, like, no matter what, you're in a gray area where, like, your homeland is being invaded, and no matter what, like, he's going to have to do some probably not so great things. Like, he's going to break the code of the samurai, you know, and become the ghost. Like, you're going to become that ghost no matter what. So it's like you're going to have to do bad things. You can't always make the choice. And I think that maybe the reason why they probably got rid of that was because it just makes more sense in the flow of the story, where, as I'm saying here, like, it's pretty obvious that a lot of this is going to be gray area stuff where it's like he's going to have to break his code of honor. He's going to have to do things that would be considered dishonorable, but he's doing it for an honorable reason, which is to protect his homeland and the people in it. So I think because of that duality, you're not really going to see that karma system present itself. I mean, maybe they tried to do that at first, but they realized, like, it just doesn't work with the story they're trying to tell. But hopefully that answers your question, buddy. Thank you for that super chat. We have Sir Speaks a Lot once again. Thank you, buddy. You're saying their marketing is top-notch. They know there's a lot of people hungry for something, so they released this gameplay, and we are hyped and spreading it. Yeah, dude, like, I've never seen this many people show up on my stream. Even yesterday, like this, I was like, yesterday's stream broke every record for me, where at some point we had over 4,200 people watching, to listen to me talk about this PlayStation 5 gameplay demonstration from Epic Games. And I thought, for as excited as I am today for this Ghost of Tsushima stream, there's no way in hell it's going to top that. And at one point we had almost 8,000 people here just on my channel alone, and that is like, wow, the hype for this game has truly reached a new level if it wasn't already there. So yeah, dude, it is spreading, that's for sure. We have Denary Rollins. You're saying look on the PlayStation channel, it's at 4K. I'm going to have to do that, buddy. I'm obviously going to go back and watch this thing for myself on my big screen 4K TV, watch it in 4K on the PlayStation channel, because I want to see this in all its glory. But even just, like, you can just tell even this footage right here, even though it's compressed and it's being streamed, and it's only at, I think right now, I have it at 1440p, but I don't think my stream is able to put it any higher than 1080p. Due to bandwidth limitations. But even just looking at this, I mean, damn, it looks amazing, right? We have Fred Vance. Once again, thank you guys so much for all of the support. Absolutely incredible. You're saying, according to Sucker Punch, your relationship with characters can depend on how you play and if they will team up with you or not. Yeah, thank you, Fred. That's actually a good point here where I did forget about that, where it has been confirmed by Sucker Punch that even though there isn't like a direct karma system, some of the decisions and choices you make in the game will determine how good or not so good your relationship with important characters in the game are. And how, like, if you do something that one character really frowns upon, they're probably not going to be your best friend, and they're going to probably be stubborn and not help you out as much. Whereas if you do things that make them smile, basically, and make them happy, and they appreciate you doing that, then they'll be a really useful ally. So in that sense, maybe there is the karma system. Maybe it's like a new version of it, like an evolved version. So we have Nuns Braga. You're saying, first time super chatting. Love the vids, man. As for Ghost of Tsushima and The Last of Us 2, I'm going to wait to play them on the PS5 and enjoy the boost mode for them. Hey, man, more power to you. If you can actually hold off on playing both of these games to play them on the PS5 so you can get that advantage, again, more power to you. Unfortunately, I just wouldn't be able to do that. Even if I didn't have this YouTube channel, there's no way I'd be able to do that. But hey, man, that's actually not such a bad idea. There's no doubt that depending on the launch lineup for the PlayStation 5, I don't know how strong or weak it's going to be. None of us know yet. I hope it's strong, obviously. But if it's not as strong as we're hoping, or maybe if there's just one or two games, I'm probably going to see myself going back and playing The Last of Us Part 2 and Ghost of Tsushima on the PS5 just to see the upgrades I can get. That is, of course, assuming Sony doesn't plan on reselling them as PS5 versions. I would assume they wouldn't, but we never know. We also have King Charles here. You're saying Red Dead Redemption 2 is okay in events, but this is something different. You won't get bored easily. The multiple side activities or maybe single-player DLC, yeah, that's a good point, King Charles. I mean, nobody here is trying to hate on Red Dead Redemption 2, but you guys know, like, back in 2018, I made a video. I'm sure a lot of you are not aware of this video, but I made a video talking about Red Dead Redemption 2 going up against God of War for Game of the Year, and why, in my opinion, God of War won, and why it deserved to win over Red Dead. And what it basically came down to is I think God of War had just much better pacing and better gameplay. There's no doubt Red Dead Redemption 2 is a next-level game, but when I think of Red Dead 2's gameplay, I just feel like it did lack in some ways, in my opinion anyway. And so I think this is where, when you look at this game, you can tell it's a very gameplay-heavy game, and it's going to be very story-heavy as well. But you could be right, buddy. We'll have to see about that. And we have Gabriel Rudolph once again. Thank you guys so much for all these super chats. You're saying, curious, what made you decide to make a PlayStation-centric channel, though your passion is in games? Is it partly the market value in offering home for loyalists? Honestly, it wasn't. Like, when I started this channel at the time, this was back in, like, I think 2017, around that time, I was very much heavily into Xbox. I had bought into the Xbox One generation, and I was enjoying it for the most part, but I don't know. I was always passionate about gaming. I grew up playing PlayStation. I just kind of transitioned over to Xbox during the 360 era and into the Xbox One era in the beginning. And I just, I had trouble growing my channel when I was an Xbox-centric channel, but that's not what made me switch over, even though that's what a lot of people think. What it really was is I would constantly see people telling me, like, dude, you need to go play PlayStation's games. Like, you have to go play them. You are severely missing out if you're not, especially because at the time I was hyping up games like State of Decay 2 and other games that were set to come out. I was at one point even hyping up Crackdown 3 because I actually thought maybe it'll be a good game. We all see how that turned out, but I decided to take the plunge, and one of the first games I played was The Last of Us, and it was at like that moment, or maybe I think before I played The Last of Us, it was God of War, and I think even before that it was Uncharted 4. But when I played these games, I was just like, holy shit, like, this is the exact thing that I've been hoping for Microsoft to do, and they just aren't doing it. And here I am missing out on the other side, where this is exactly what PlayStation has been doing and is clearly continuing to do. It just, people think that when I was like, oh, I'm going to play these PlayStation games now and review them, and buy a PS4 Pro, they thought that, oh, you're just doing that for views, buddy. Like, dude, I didn't know. Like, I didn't know that that's what was going to happen. I'm really thankful it did, and it did make me realize, oh, okay, yeah, there's a much bigger audience for people who are really, really into these PlayStation games, and I totally understand it now, obviously now more than ever, but there was no way for me to know that. And the thing is, like, I still talk about Xbox, but there's no doubt, guys, that PlayStation has just truly won me over, and it's for one reason and one reason alone. It's not because of their console. I mean, obviously their console is great. It's not because of their controller. It's not because of their services. It's not because of their subscriptions. It's because of their games. That's why they won me over. That's why I'm here with a PlayStation-centric channel, hyping up Ghost of Tsushima, and frankly can't freaking wait to play it, and I'm now more excited than ever. And honestly, like, you guys have proven to me that you're just as hyped as I am. And I'm not trying to crap on Xbox. I don't mean to come off that way. I know it's hard for us to not push back sometimes, because there's no doubt there is a large Xbox community that feels very passionately about their brand of choice. And sometimes they push back against us. And sometimes I feel like it's maybe I'm in a position where I have to kind of try to set the record straight the best I can. And that's why we do this. But we have Cameron Youngs. Once again, thank you, buddy, for the generous donation. You're saying, Microsoft bought multiple developers in the past 2 years and dropped exclusives in development. I believe Microsoft will drop exclusives outside Halo/Gears. Still, Microsoft's cross-buy concept will push Sony. Competition equals more innovation. I do agree, buddy. I think that a lot of the things that Microsoft has done, or at least a good amount of them, are definitely positive, and it's not all bad. I don't mean to make it sound like it's all doom and gloom. And it's not that, I'm not trying to say that there isn't anything Sony couldn't learn from Microsoft or take some notes in, because of course, like, this is the nature of competition. There's things that Sony can learn from Microsoft, and certainly things that Microsoft can learn from Sony. But I do agree with that last thing you said, 110%, man. Competition equals more innovation. And that's what's exciting. I mean, there's no doubt that the Xbox Series X would not be the console it is if Microsoft didn't drop the ball big time at the beginning of 2013 and PlayStation didn't have the more powerful console. So thank you so much for that donation, buddy. It really means a lot here to me. And we have Mepsic once again also showing just phenomenal support to you, saying, how do you feel about The Last of Us 2? Excuse me. Let me try that again. How do you feel about The Last of Us 2 now, since it's been some time since we heard about all the leaks? Are you still pre-ordering it? And are you still not a fan of the plot if the leaks are true? Well, to answer that question, honestly, now that everything is calmed down and I'm removed from it and my emotions are obviously not as high, I realize that, you still see people on YouTube today still every single day making videos trashing this game. And I'm like, okay, you can clearly now see the line clear as day between the people, in my opinion, like myself, who were just genuinely distraught about some of the leaks and some of the plot points, versus people who are they just want to shit on the game now because it's just shit to them and they don't want to shut up about it. And that was not my intention with the content I made. I know some people took it that way, and I won't lie. Once I saw that there was a lot of people interested in what I had to say, I probably started saying a little bit more than I normally would have. But I immediately realized that, look, I said what I had to say. There's one video in particular I made about The Last of Us 2. It's my spoilers video where I actually talk in depth about the leaks, which we're not going to spoil here, obviously. But that was the truest video out of everything I made, where if you really want to know genuinely how I feel in terms of, I'm emotionally distraught at hearing about these leaks and what happens. But I realize that now, and I know that there's some people who are just going to call me out for this and be like, dude, you're just a fraud. Whatever. Call me what you want. I don't care. Because I said whatever decision I'm making, I'm doing it for myself. The Last of Us 2 is an absolute must-play game, in my opinion. I don't care how against it you are. I don't care how much, the leaks make you disgusted. Because trust me, I know those feelings. I swallowed that pill. But it's a must-play game. And I feel like, honestly, I do agree with people who, when they say you can't judge it, you can't give a concrete judgment on it until you experience it yourself. I can't deny that. Because here's the thing. Even if you're like somebody like, oh, well, after reading that, I'm not buying that crap, I'm not supporting that, then just don't talk about it. Because you can clearly, and this is what I'm saying, you can clearly see the people who are like, now they're just hating on it for the sake of hating on it because they've developed a whole audience now that's dedicated to hating on this one thing. But it's like, if you hate it and you really don't want to support it, you don't want to buy it, that's fine. Move on, though. Just move on. There's no reason to keep beating this dead horse. And trust me, I've done it myself in the past. I'm guilty of it, but I've learned. And I learned that that's not productive in any way, shape, or form. That doesn't mean I don't want to ever express my thoughts or opinions in a not so positive way, because of course I will. But there's a difference between expressing your thoughts, and they may not be so positive in a moment or a couple moments, and just continually beating a dead horse because you just want to continue to make an example of something that's already come and gone. You know what I mean? And I'm just not... I mean, I know you could maybe say, oh, you still do that with Xbox. Not really. I'm not still talking about Xbox's past mistakes. I'm referencing them to keep people aware that, they could still end up making those same mistakes. But we're not harping on it. I think you guys understand what I'm saying. So hopefully that answers your question. Because I know that's a question that a lot of people have. And trust me, we'll talk more about The Last of Us Part 2 in June. Don't worry about that. We still have a lot of conversations to be had with that game. We also have Gabriel Rudolph here saying, I play PlayStation but prefer the Xbox controller's feeling. Yeah, dude, I love the Xbox controller, but I know that there's a lot of people who are going to hate me for saying this, but one of the things that I'm absolutely really loving about the DualSense controller is I don't think it looks identical to the Xbox controller, but there's no doubt it looks more similar now to the Xbox controller than the DualShock 4 did, but that's mainly because they decided to make it thicker. It's a thicker controller, and I love that about the DualSense controller, and I can already tell that the DualSense controller has the potential to be my favorite controller of all time. That's not to mention all of the amazing things that the developers across the globe have been saying about the DualSense controller. And this is where you see Sony is trying to innovate. I think that what Microsoft is doing with their controller is perfectly fine. I think it's perfectly fine, but I think it's just that. It's fine. You know, it's a little bit better, just a tiny bit better than what you had previously. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? If it isn't broke, don't fix it, I mean to say. And I just like I like Sony's approach better. They're like, no, like we can do more. Let's try to innovate here. And I genuinely appreciate that, because I think that what they're doing with the DualSense controller, it looks awesome. I can't wait to get it in my hands, guys. I really can't. I know it sounds really small, but one of the biggest things I'm so happy they did was with the thumbsticks. It looks like there's actually grip material around the edge of the thumbsticks for the DualSense controller. I'm so damn thankful for that, because that is the one thing that kills me about the DualShock 4s. Those damn rubber, cheap. It just feels cheap, the rubber analog sticks. We have Mepsic once again. You're saying great answer, brother. That's what I was hoping you said. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I'm not trying to say anything to appease anybody. Guys, like, I saw the leaks. I was exposed to them. It was a really bitter pill to swallow, and I was having a hard time choking it down. But I did, because I knew that, like, just get over it. Stop being a whiny baby about it. Like, if you don't like the game, you don't like the game. And that's exactly what I plan to do. If I play the game and I don't like it, I'll just be like, guys, I didn't like it. I mean, obviously, I'm going to have more to say about that, but if I don't, I'm just going to move on. I'm not going to continually beat it into the ground. I mean, don't get me wrong, we will have a lot of conversations, but I just have to emphasize that. But for now, the focus, based off of what we saw today, is Ghost of Tsushima. We have Sir Speaks a Lot once again. You're saying, preach. I was the same, outraged at the leaks. Then I thought I buy a lot of games anyway, might as well try it for myself and hate it later or love it later. I'll never know until I play it. Yeah, dude, I mean, that's it, man. Like, it's... At one point, I was like, I don't even know if I'm going to buy this game now. But I realized, like, that's so extreme and unnecessarily so, And if that really was the case, guys, I just literally wouldn't ever talk about it. I just wouldn't talk about it. But, a part of me did feel like maybe I owe it to my audience to make sure I play The Last of Us 2. Just from, like, a viewer standpoint. Where, like, I know that no matter what, you guys would be interested in what I have to say. So that alone makes me be like, yeah, I gotta play. I know you guys want to hear what I have to say. But even just for myself, I realized, like, I would be doing myself a disservice if I didn't play this damn game, being the kind of Last of Us fan I am. Whether I love it or hate it in the end, that's not important right now. I gotta give it a fair shake. And that's just the way it has to be, period. So, yeah, guys, I just want to let you know, we are at 2,800 likes. Thank you guys so much. You have just shown absolutely phenomenal support during this stream. If we could just get that up to 3,000, I know that's asking a lot, but we are so close, and hitting that 3,000 mark would just take this stream to another level, in my opinion. And I can't thank you guys enough. All of the super chats, everything. I'll keep it going for a couple more minutes, because clearly you guys are just enjoying this as much as I am, and I'm sure we're also just enjoying continuously watching this gameplay, because I could watch this, I don't want to say all day, maybe that's exaggerating a little bit, but there's no doubt that this is a sight to behold here. And I don't mean to come off to people like I'm overhyping things or like I'm overselling it or anything like that. I really don't mean to come off that way. All I really want is to just express my genuine excitement, and Ghost of Tsushima is a game that I always had interest in, and I was always wondering, like, how is it going to deliver? Like, is it going to deliver, And especially after playing Infamous Second Son, I realized that I think the pressure's on Sucker Punch here, not because I thought Infamous Second Son was a great game, but you can just tell that, like, it's been so long since they released the game, and all of the games that have come out since then, that's where I realized, like, the pressure's on for Sucker Punch to deliver. And my God, guys, it looks like they're going to. Like, I have such high hopes for this game, in case you can't tell. We have Chris Gaming Show. You're saying, I'm still playing The Last of Us 2, and I can understand your opinion. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, buddy. I hope that's all I ultimately hope for in the end with everybody is, I know not everybody's going to. I'm not asking for everybody to agree with my opinion. I'm not asking everybody to agree with what I have to say. All I'm asking is for them to try to understand why I'm saying what I'm saying, why I feel the way I do. Again, you don't have to agree with it, but that's what I try to do on this channel here. I try to be as, like, honest and genuine as I can. And that's why, like, I have to say here at the end, just because I know that people who listen to this after the stream goes live, people watch it after the fact, I know that there's going to be some people who think, damn, dude, you just use this as an opportunity to take a dump on Xbox once again and talk trash. I just want it to be known, no, I'm not trying to do that, guys. I think Xbox, I think they still have a huge opportunity going forward to impress gamers with their July show. I think that they're doing a great job with the Series X, but really all this is meant to be is to just, it's hard not to look at what we're seeing here with Ghost of Tsushima. It's hard not to look at what we saw yesterday with the Epic Games stream and basically just say out loud to to Phil Spencer and Xbox and Aaron Greenberg and all them and the hardcore fans who constantly defend it that this is how it's done, man. There's actually one thing I want to mention here at the end of this that I think it's kind of irrelevant. Maybe not, though. I don't think it's actually irrelevant. I think it actually does play an important role in this conversation. Before I do, though, Fred Vance, once again, thank you so much, buddy. You're saying, what is the one thing you are hoping for in Ghost of Tsushima that they have not said or shown yet? I guess the one thing, and maybe this is just because I'm playing God of War and I've gotten to a certain moment that I don't want to spoil for anybody who maybe hasn't seen it yet, but the one thing they haven't really talked about, unless I missed it, is it seems like there's not really a whole lot of diversity in weaponry. So I guess if there's anything that I'm hoping for, although it's not a big deal if it's not this way, but it just, because I think about the different powers you could get in, Infamous Second Son, and you always look forward to getting those new powers. I hope that in this game, there's maybe some different weapons we can use, like besides just a samurai sword or a katana. Now, maybe not. Again, it's perfectly fine. I'm not saying I would have an issue with it, but that would be like a nice little surprise. Unless, again, if that's something that has already been confirmed that I'm not aware of. But I know you got the bow, you got the small, short sword there, and you also have the katana. I wonder if you're going to be able to use anything else. So that's what I'm wondering. We also have Big Norman. Thank you for that donation, buddy. We have Pro Skills X. You're saying the way you acted about the Last of Us leaks pissed you off. Well, I mean, that's okay, man. Like, you're allowed to be pissed. I can only do one thing on this channel. Hold on, Jesus. Clearly my mods. I don't know if I have any mods left. I apologize if the chat is just a complete mess. I can't mod and talk at the same time. I'm trying my best to do so, but I can only do one thing here on my channel, and that is just be me and be honest. And I know that there will be times where I say things that piss a lot of people off. A lot of people don't agree with it. But if anything, if there's anything if you can take solace in anything, it's even if what I say does piss you off, at least I'm being genuine and I'm being honest. And I realize that sometimes that does come with a price, and sometimes the price turns out how you feel is not how a lot of people feel, and you feel the heat. But I'd much rather feel that heat than, just feel like I have to be a yes man about everything, you know what I mean, or a hype man unnecessarily, or fake anything, So hopefully that clears some things up. We have Sir Speaks a Lot once again. You're saying, ironically, the Xbox players that call you out do not realize how much of a hardcore Xbox player you were. We were at war with you originally, LO. Yeah, dude, I mean, look, I like to think I've come a long way. I mean, I know that it's easy for people to look at it and be like, dude, you just switched teams. I don't think it's that simple. I think that in the process of doing so, it has opened my mind. I've become a lot more open-minded since. I've become a lot more understanding. And I think that I've done, I'm not trying to toot my own horn here. I'm just saying I think I've done a pretty good job, trying to be as fair as I can. I know I've had my rants. I know I've gotten emotional. I get emotional sometimes, and that shows through, both good and bad. But I'd like to think that at the end of the day, once things simmer down, I always try to be as calm, cool, collected, and logical and fair as I possibly can. But I am only human. I'm not a robot. So, MBG, you deserve all the likes and support for doing such an amazing job on this channel for all of us. We appreciate all of your hard work, brother. Well, thank you so much for that, buddy. I mean, that really means a lot. I have to thank you guys, and I know that maybe I sound like a broken record. I know that we have the podcast every week, and we've been having more live streams lately because of all these announcements. I know that I spend a lot of time thanking you guys and praising you guys, and there's some people who think that I'm just trying to kiss ass, but I'm really not. Part of me being genuine is genuinely thanking you guys and telling you that, for as cliche as it sounds, we're both, one half I'm one half and you guys are one half, and that's what makes the whole of this channel, and that's what, in my opinion, makes it so fun and so great. And I'm just glad that you guys appreciate it as well, because I certainly enjoy doing it. And so there's one last thing I have to talk about here, and this is a little bit it's not off topic because it has to do with Microsoft's marketing. And I heard something recently that just, in my opinion, was pretty revealing. And I was thinking about maybe I should save this to talk about it during the upcoming podcast. To be honest, I'm a little bit nervous now what the hell we're going to talk about during the podcast. I've been talking so much these past couple days, but I'm sure we'll find some stuff. We always do. There's been a lot of other news that we have to go over that I've been saving for the podcast. But I'm just going to talk about it now. I may talk about it again during the podcast, but I just think it's interesting. Before I do, Fred Vance, you're saying, remember, we are here for the love of games. And yes, that's true, buddy, and that's why in the future, when Xbox shows me games that I'm excited to play, I will certainly cover them. People always ask me, why don't you cover Nintendo? Nothing against Nintendo or its fans, but Nintendo games just never really appealed to me on that level where I felt that passionately about them. I do play them occasionally from time to time, but it's just a different level of passion, if that makes sense. True Witty, you're saying people need to get over it. People need to get over it. The war has been over. Yeah, I mean, Xbox, I hope that they can bring it back, man, in a big way, but we're going to have to see if they do. But what I want to talk about is, I was listening to a podcast the other night. I'm not going to name it because I'm not trying to shout out other people's podcasts, especially when I'm saying something that, I don't want to say I'm saying something bad. Like, I'm not calling anybody or anything out. But I was just listening to a podcast, and there was an individual on this podcast. I think his name was Ricari. I don't know his exact name, but the point is, this is what you need to know. He used to work for Microsoft. He was one of the hosts for Inside Xbox. And he no longer, I don't think he works for Microsoft any longer, but he has good insight. That's the important part here. He has good insight into what goes on there at Xbox, how they plan their Inside Xbox showings. And I think a lot of you know that for quite some time now, I've always been very disappointed in Inside Xbox. Like, there's really never been an Inside Xbox that I've watched that I was like, wow, that was great. And I know that there's like a lot of people who are like, oh, it's just fine. But in my opinion, like, if you look at what Sony has done with their State of Play today, this is the first State of Play they've done all year. And look at the splash they made. This is how you do it. Now, the reason why I'm mentioning this is because I've always said that I think Microsoft has a marketing problem, or at least a lot of people have echoed that sentiment where it's like Microsoft just seems to have a big marketing problem. And this individual, Ricari, he was talking about the most recent Inside Xbox, and he was giving his thoughts on it. And he was basically saying that, yeah, he thinks they messed up, and he thinks that they're not aware that the people who are marketing over there, I don't know if he was talking about the marketing team directly or if he was just talking about the people who plan the Inside Xbox thing, but he was basically saying that, they're kind of in an echo chamber over there. That's the way he put it. And I've just found that, I think that was so telling, because he basically said that they're kind of in an echo chamber where they're all giving each other high fives saying, this is great, yeah, like, people are going to like this, and then they go to the PR people and they get the green light from the PR people, and the PR people are like, yeah, that's fine, go for that. And they're just in this bubble where like everybody's looking at each other like, yeah, this is great, everybody's going to love this, and then they put it out and people are just like, what the fuck is this? Like, what is, like, this is terrible. Like, this is garbage. This is like, and even if you don't want to call it garbage, like, this is just boring. Like, this isn't good, right? And it just seems like nothing has changed. And I don't know why, but that just kind of stuck out to me because I'm like, that's a problem, man. Like, that's a really, really big problem if that's true over there at Microsoft. And I take his word for it because, again, he used to work there. And, it's just ironic to me that he no longer works there. I think he got laid off. But it's just ironic because, like, this is a dude who clearly was working there and is looking around and like, guys, like, this isn't what gamers want, man. Like, this isn't what they are showing up for. You need to pump it up a little bit here. And now he no longer works there. And I'm just like, I you know what I mean? Like, in my head, it's not computing where I'm just like, if that's really true over there at Microsoft, they need to fix that because people tune in to these events. And, like, look, I'm not saying anybody deserves to be fired for what Microsoft did with their, because I would never say that. Like, I just feel like that's too extreme, because I'm not in charge, and it's not my place to tell people who should or shouldn't have jobs, right? Like, I'm not going to do that. But there's no doubt that this latest Inside Xbox that just happened with the next-gen showcase, how disastrous it was for them, right? And then now we're seeing this right after it. There's no doubt that, in my opinion, like, Phil, you need to sort out your marketing team. You need to figure out who's making these decisions and tell them to either get it together or find somebody else to make those decisions, because this is such a critical time and you can't be having things like that happening. And then when I hear from somebody who used to work there on the inside that it's basically an echo chamber over there, I'm like, oh my God, like that's the worst thing, right? Like where you have a bunch of people that look like that aren't doing anything really that great, but they're all looking at each other like, yeah, that was great, man. Oh, that was awesome. You know, like they're in their bubble. And I'm like, that's not how this should be working. But I just wanted to go on that little tangent. We have Kliss Remdeem Lessie. Hopefully I'm saying her name correctly. Apologize if I butchered it. We need Xbox to do well so Sony can still do well. I 100% agree, my friend. That's the nature of competition. We need to see the competition. We need to see Microsoft bring their A game as consistently as Sony does, because when we see that, it's just going to push Sony to do even better. Granted, this is where people give Jim Ryan a lot of shit. He is the guy who is in charge of PlayStation right now. He's the PlayStation CEO, basically. People have given him a lot of shit, but I'll tell you, man, if there's one thing he ever said that I always held on to, was sometime last year in 2019 when it was kind of announced that he was the new CEO. This was shortly after Sean Layden, quote-unquote, departed, even though it was very clear that he kind of got kicked out for reasons we may never know. I don't know. It's unfortunate the way it went down, but a lot of people were really sad to see Sean Layden leave. But there's one thing that Jim Ryan said that I'll never forget. Well, I don't say never forget, man. It's a little bit exaggerating there, but something that stuck with me going into the PlayStation 5 generation and covering it the way we are is he said the bulk of his effort basically is going into making sure they don't get complacent. And I just thought, like, God damn, if there was anything you could have said that really, I mean, I know we have to see that, but I'm so glad that the person who's in charge there understands that. Like, and I know it sounds so obvious to a lot of people, but there's so many people who don't get that. There's so many people who are in these high positions, and again, they're in their little bubbles. And I'm glad that Jim Ryan, and I'm assuming all of Sony, or at least most of the people in charge of the PlayStation brand, understand that your biggest enemy right now may not be Microsoft, because they still have a big mountain to climb here to get to where you're at. But your biggest enemy can easily be yourself if you allow yourself to get complacent. And in my opinion, what we've been seeing so far is proof to me that they're not getting complacent. They're going to continue to do what they do best. And I guess that's just, in my opinion, the best way I could end this stream is basically just saying, like, you look at what we saw yesterday, you look at what we see right here in front of us with this state of play, and I think it's safe to say that Sony's not getting complacent. They're just being quiet because they're being strategic, and they're making sure that, as somebody earlier in the stream put it, when they choose to strike, they're striking from the shadows, but their strikes are going to land, and they're going to hit hard, and everybody's going to feel it. All the way from Team Xbox down to people like us who are just super excited, even the more passive gamers, the people who are not the more casual gamers, even getting their attention. You make your strikes count. It's not how many times you hit, it's how hard you hit when you decide to. So I guess that's where I'm going to end it, guys. I don't want to continue to just talk mindlessly. I have to save, obviously, some stuff for the videos that we have coming over the next couple of days, as well as the upcoming Press X podcast. And for anybody who's still listening right now, this Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern will be the next episode of Press X podcast. Obviously, we are going to have a lot to talk about, because something tells me that the conversation surrounding PlayStation and even Xbox is not going to die down anytime soon. So I'm looking forward to it. I hope all you guys can show up. Again, that's going to be Sunday, 12 p.m. Eastern. That's the time I always do it. Unless something comes up, I'll obviously let you know ahead of time. But as of right now, we're going full steam ahead. Excuse me, we have Sir Speaks a Lot once again. You're saying, in short, goddamn, we are at the end game. It only gets better from here. Horizon 2, God of War 2, my personal favorite. Knack 3, baby. It's great. Yeah, dude, like, that's the thing, man. It feels like it's not even started yet. Like, that's the thing. Like, it hasn't even really truly started yet because Sony's still finishing off the PlayStation 4 generation, but there's still so much more to come with some of those games you listed. And God, you look at The Last of Us 2, you look at Ghost of Tsushima, just imagine Knack 3. Can you imagine that? Oh my God. I mean, mind-blowing. I want to see Mark Cerny reveal Knack 3 at that PlayStation event, man. I want to see it. We better see it. Make sure you guys leave a like for Knack 3, all right? But yeah, before I end this, I want to give a huge, huge, huge thank you to everybody who stopped by, even the trolls. I know I'm not endorsing trolls, but I just want to say thank you to everybody who decided to click on my stream, especially those of you who have continuously showed your support, those of you who stuck around for the entirety of the stream, especially those of you who go above and beyond to become members here and donate super chats. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And we have Henry Haskin here saying accuracy over speed, boy. Yeah, accuracy over speed, boy. Yeah. Yep, can't say. I mean, Kratos, he knows it all, man. Clearly, when it comes to understanding your enemy and never underestimating your enemy. So, thank you guys so much for hanging out here with me. This was a fantastic stream. To be honest, I think this was the best stream I ever had. Somehow even better than yesterday's. We still have over 1,800 people here. Be sure to hit that like button, guys, before you head out. And God, I gotta say, bring on more events, guys, because this is exciting as hell. Like, I don't know what the next big event's going to be. I don't know if there's going to be another one this month. But at the very least, it seems like, and I'm going to make a video on this. We're going to talk about it. Jeff Grubb, who, he clearly knows everything that's going down over basically the rest of the year. He actually made his own little list where people are trying to guess. He did say that on June 4th, and he's still saying on June 4th is when Sony's big PlayStation 5 blowout event's going to be, and he said there's going to be a lot of games there. So, guys, I'm looking at this Ghost of Tsushima stream. I'm looking at the stream from yesterday. I'm thinking, what the hell is that stream going to be like? Knowing with my luck, my internet will go out that day. But let's knock on wood here and hope that nothing happens. But, guys, as you can tell, I'm just very excited for what's to come. But I am going to sign off here now. 1,700 people still. I'll see you guys. Thank you for everybody. Make sure you hit the like button on your way out. And feel free to share this out as well so you can, tell your friends about this insanely hyped guy who just can't stop being insanely hyped for all things PlayStation. But I just want to make sure I'm not forgetting anything here at the end because I always feel like there's something I'm supposed to say. But I think that's it, guys. So I'm going to go get some food and play some God of War. Hopefully you guys have a good rest of your day. And, yeah, so just awkwardly trying to get out of this here now. But, all right, guys, until next time, take care.